health foods that aren't all that they're cracked up to be. And a couple foods that are really good to incorporate. So before we kind of start, I'd love to hear from you guys about ones that you think are the health foods that aren't that all cracked up to be. So any foods that you can guess that might be included in this list.
I'm in the car, so I'm gonna come off mute.
Yeah.
My husband's driving though, but I think some granolas. I think my
Yeah.
granola healthy, but some of them aren't.
Definitely.
Berries are healthy. I can see in the pictures.
What food do you think is not all that's cracked up to be though? Like is there something that you think claims that it's healthy that might not really be so healthy?
Hmm.
Sometimes it's hard because marketing does such a good job. So, and it's tough nowadays with all the influencers and everything online that we read that this is healthy and then it's not healthy and all the stuff that we see. So sometimes it's really hard to navigate what's healthy and what's not healthy. Um, so we'll talk about a lot of things tonight. But so for those of you who don't know, our nutrition program is powered by Healthy Steps Nutrition. At Healthy Steps, we believe that something as fundamental as nutrition shouldn't be complicated, and this is why we focus on our simple habit-based approach, with going one step at a time to reach our goals. Okay, so to kind of kick it off, I'm going to start by talking about a product that I don't see as much anymore. It's still out there, but for a little while it was all over the place. And that is a product that used the nutritional claim of like alkaline water. So you see this at the grocery store. You see alkaline water. You see it at the grocery store, the gas station, um, so many places. And we don't even know what it really means exactly to be alkaline or what this is supposed to be doing. What alkaline means is to have a pH that's greater than 7. So normal tap water has a pH of around 7. So it's neutral. Whereas alkaline water has a higher pH, meaning that it's more basic. The health claim behind this water is that it will neutralize your acid in your bloodstream. And by doing this, it's also claiming to prevent diseases like cancer, heart diseases. But we know better than just to believe a marketing claim. So what it actually does is alkaline water will change the pH of your urine and your saliva, but not actually your body's blood pH. Our bodies are very sensitive and they need to stay within a small range for many parameters, so including our pH. Our bodies are very, very good at staying within those ranges without the help of water. So it's not going to hurt you. I know some people like the taste better. I often like the taste better, but it's not going to give you this outstanding health benefit that it's claiming to do. So that was just one example
Thank,
of. Go ahead.
thank you so much for clearing this doubt because I had this the same doubt like about the alkaline water, and I was so
Yeah.
curious and I just did it Google, and even I checked it with the one of the doctor also, and they mentioned the same thing. Like body, they have their own pH level, so they can maintain and they cannot change the blood pH. So thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that we kind of grasp, like marketing grasps onto to sell our products. So that's the big thing that we need to look at when we're buying food, because products will grasp this idea and they might even do a study that is not a good quality study. So they're like, oh yeah, this study shows that this is better, but it actually isn't a good quality study. So we really need to look at what these health claims are showing. Um, and I mean, I like alkaline water. I like the way it tastes, but that's really what you should be buying it for is hydration and taste. It's not going to be this overacting health benefit that we're getting from it. So companies invest in research, development, and marketing long before products are actually developed a lot of the times. So you might be wondering why, and the reasoning behind it is they want to know what consumers are willing to pay for. and they want to build a product that's going to generate more demand. So so the more the company is able to get the public interest in their product, the more they can charge. Many companies will claim their product has a particular beneficial nutritional property, such as the changing in your pH. Some of these claims may not be entirely false, but it's more likely stretching the truth when you really start to break it down. While food labels have regulations set forth by the government, their number one focus is still to profit. So let's dive in and talk about 10 foods that just aren't worth the squeeze to and we're going to talk a little bit about better options too, because that's really important. Is I never want to come on here and say, oh, you can't eat this, you can't eat that, you can't do this. There's so many ways that we can take these things. Really, what tonight is educating you on what to look for. So not to be scammed by marketing tactics on foods, and really to understand what our body needs at the heart of it and how we can incorporate some foods along with it. So the first one, Tanya, you kind of mentioned this, was granola. So granola and granola bars. This is a very popular health food, and it's a great on-the-go snack. So a lot of us will keep it in our car, and they are to help keep our energy up throughout the days. And many companies realize that this appeals to people who are busy, gym goers, kids. So many people can or have used and may still have granola bars or granola in their house. So to make them even more appealing to you, you can start to see if you grab one, you'll see things like heart healthy, lowers cholesterol, high protein snack. Because of this marketing, they have become a staple in our carts, but they might not be the best option. Granola bars are seen as a great source of energy, but if you look at the nutrition label, you might want to see what we're actually consuming. So, on the nutrition label, it's usually going to be higher in one micronutrient, which is carbohydrates. And typically with this in granola bars is we see it paired with sugar, and that makes it taste delicious. So while it will give you some immediate energy, it will not keep you full for long. And this carb and sugar heavy snack can cause that quick spike in your blood and then lead you to kind of feeling that like crash where we feel energized for a little bit, but it's not sustainable. And even bars that are higher in protein, like Cliff bars, are still packed with a lot of sugar. So remember, we're aiming for no more than 38 grams of added sugar per day for men and 25 for women. So some of these bars are nearly half your day's worth of sugar in one. There are some good quality ones out there. So I don't want to say that all granola is bad and all granola bars are bad, but it's something to really be mindful of is making sure you're turning your label over and reading the ingredient list because a lot of the times you'll see them and they have 10 grams of sugar or some different things in there. So just start to, when you see a health claim and it's a popular food, turn things over, investigate a little bit. Granola, I will say one of my favorite ones is Purely Elizabeth. But you still have to be careful with some of these granolas with the added sugar. So really being mindful of the amount that you're using, um, and how you're using it too. So making sure that we're not just eating granola, but pairing it maybe with a plain Greek yogurt, and adding in some berries on top. That way we're creating more of a full meal is one way that we could take granola, choose a better option that's lower in sugar, higher in fiber, and make it a delicious treat. Now, the next one is cold cereals. So, this is another convenient favorite. Most cold cereals is or cold cereals are 31% of Americans' breakfast. So on a regular basis, 31% of Americans are eating cold cereal. And many cereal brands are directly marketed to kids, including like cereal box toys, fun mascots, and they're placed at specific eye levels on shelves too to make it appealing to kids. So you'll notice if you walk through the grocery store, look at what's your eye at your eye level and look at what's down on the bottom, look at what's up on the top. because often you're going to find the ones that are marketing uh, that have higher sugar that are really trying to grasp your attention in the center, and you'll see the more bland that don't have that big marketing budget on the exterior. Many cereals actually claim things like heart healthy, good source of fiber, protein, they contain whole grains, when actually they can be packed with sugar, sodium, simple carbs, and less protein and fiber than they seemingly say to imply. So let's take a look at this nutrition label. For example, so this is Lucky Charms cereal. So very, very popular kids cereal. And it has, for 1 cup, it has 122 calories. So that doesn't seem very high. But of that 122 calories, 12 of those grams are sugar and only 1.4 grams of fiber and only 2.1 grams of protein. So that's something to really be mindful of when we're eating cereal. And again, I'm never going to tell you that Lucky Charms are bad. They're not the most nutrient dense option. They're not going to keep you full. They're going to give you a bunch of sugar that's impacting your total amount throughout the day. So, if this is something that when you feel like you restrict, that you tend to overeat on other things, or there's a bad food relationship that we're creating by restricting this, we need to evaluate how can we make this incorporated so that we take the power kind of away from it. A really great option, measure out a small portion of Lucky Charms, put it over that Greek yogurt, add in some nuts and some seeds to get that fiber up, or you can add it over cottage cheese or something that's going to give that more protein dense, and then top it with some berries. So if we measure out maybe a fourth of this, then you're only getting about 3 or 4 grams of sugar. Excuse me. And then we're getting the protein from the Greek yogurt. We're getting in the fiber from the berries, and we're getting in some extra protein and fiber from like nuts or seeds. That way you can still enjoy some of these foods, but we are amplifying it to bring it more nutritional value than just eating a bowl of the cereal with some milk. Okay. The next one is flavored oatmeal. So oatmeal is so good for you. There's so many benefits, but it's really important to know what we're picking when we choose. So flavored oatmeal is another one of those easy breakfast go-tos with turkey marketing. So much like breakfast cereals, you'll see similar claims with a lot of emphasis on heart healthy properties. And this comes from that oatmeal is naturally high in fiber. So a diet high in fiber has been shown to maintain better blood sugar levels, improve cholesterol, decrease blood pressure, and it helps our heart stay strong and healthy. But instant flavored oatmeals typically do not have those same properties. The instant oatmeal is more processed. And during this process, it loses that fiber, which is the beneficial property. So remember, companies make products like this to make a profit off of consumers by making them think that it's healthy while also appealing to the taste preference. So while oatmeal can be a terrific source of heart healthy whole grains, it's important to check the nutrition label before purchasing these products. For example, flavored instant oatmeal is particularly highly processed with less fiber and then has that added sugar too. So we're not getting that fiber, which is going to help sustain our blood sugar, and we're getting in more sugar in the morning. So remember, read the nutrition label. Choose less processed oatmeal, such as steel cut or old-fashioned oats, with minimal amounts of added sugar, and instead add in your own fruit. Add in a natural source of sugar. Add in different flavors like cinnamon, coconut. These are all ways that we can take that oatmeal and make it taste really, really good without all of the negative benefits. So, flavored yogurt. Yogurt is a fantastic health food. Yogurt's packed with calcium, protein, probiotics, and it helps our bones stay strong and our gut healthy. But unfortunately, many flavored yogurts have a lot of added sugar to increase the palatability of the flavor. So some brands even have more than 20 grams of sugar in one little single serving packet. So if we can remember back to the granola bars, men should only be getting in maximum of 35 grams of added sugar and women max 25. So if you ate just one container of the yogurt that had the 20 grams, we're basically at our limit already for the day. And that one little, um, basically snack, it's not even a meal at that point because we're not adding anything to it. But flavored yogurts can also contain dyes, preservatives, and other ingredients that aren't necessarily the best for us. So when we are choosing a yogurt, which can be so beneficial, make sure that it's Greek or Icelandic. I like Icelandic skyr, but you want to make sure that it's plain and there's only a small amount of natural sugar. You're going to have some sugar because of the dairy, but we don't want added sugar. Instead, get the plain, and if you want vanilla, add in some vanilla bean or some vanilla flavoring at home. You can always add in some honey on top or some maple syrup. Then take those berries, those nuts, those seeds, put those on top, and we're really creating a delicious palette instead of buying the ones that have all that sugar in it. So the next one is smoothies. Smoothies can be extremely refreshing and versatile way to increase your fruit and veggie and protein consumption. They can be loaded with protein, fiber, healthy fats, and they can be super delicious. They can be a fantastic tool. So while smoothies can be a great way to spice up your fruit and veggie consumption, they may not be all that they're cracked up to be. And many of the smoothie shops are like the prepackaged smoothies have a ton of sugar in it. Another misconception around smoothies is that they're low calorie and great for weight loss, which is not always the case. Some smoothies can pack in over 1,000 calories depending on the size and ingredients. So when we're going to Smoothie King or Tropical Smoothie or getting one of those like pre-made smoothies, look at the ingredients. I know when we go to Tropical Smoothie, I take out the sugar that they add into it because you can go in and manipulate your order and take out the sugar so it's not so sweet because I don't need that extra sugar and I want added protein. I want different things in my smoothies if I'm going to make them because I want them to be nutrient dense, but they can come at that cost. So really being mindful if we're using smoothies. They can be a fantastic tool, but we really want to watch what we're putting into it or what if we're buying out what they're putting into it. All right, acai. Acai has gotten a rap to be a superfood, but does it actually do what they say? So many claims say that acai bowls can benefit your brain, heart, and overall health because of the high antioxidant content. But there's no actual evidence backing this up. It's a good source of fiber, calcium, potassium, and vitamin A, but that does not make it a quick fix to your health problems or weight loss. And oftentimes you'll see this as a food for weight loss. However, many places out there have it packed with over 400 calories per bowl and a ton of added sugar in them. So, again, just being mindful of what we're putting into things and what we're buying. Another downfall is like the commercially prepared acai bowls. They're super expensive. So, although the brand may promote health and wellness and use fresh fruit and honey to top your bowls, it might not be worth it. So, that's something to think about with these is it worth it? Am I getting too much sugar in? Am I not getting enough protein in? Am I not getting enough fiber in? Is this keeping me full? There's lots of things to consider with these. Sports drinks. So there's a never-ending list of sport drink brands. These products seem like a good source of hydration and usually contain electrolytes. But many of these sports drinks are packed with sugar and derived from high fructose corn syrup. And this is the same carbohydrate source that's found in like soft drinks and sodas. So think about that. Like, would you use Coca-Cola to fuel you during an endurance run? Probably not. So we don't want to consume these high fructose corn syrup sports drinks. And a lot of these are geared towards athletes, like professional athletes. So that's something that I stress a lot with clients is electrolyte drinks can be so beneficial, and a lot of people need to drink an electrolyte drink. But we're not all these top tier athletes that need that sugar boost that's in them. So it's important to try to be mindful of the content of our electrolyte beverage, even down to the sodium amount. Some of us don't need all that sodium that's in these electrolytes. So there's different brands and different options that can provide you that hydration benefit, those electrolytes that we need without doing it at that top tier athletic profile. Um, so an example is a 20-ounce serving of Gatorade Thirst Quencher contains about 36 grams of sugar. And this is only a little less than the average soda and more than the recommended amount. So if we're drinking these all day long to try to be healthy, we can actually be doing a lot more harm. So while carbohydrates and sugar for long-lasting workouts can actually improve our performance, for those athletes. The best way to rehydrate is by just drinking water. The next time, skip the sports drink and look for a regular water. If you want to add an electrolyte supplement, look for no added sugar. I really like the Relights. I like Ultima Hydration. Those are some of my favorites because they're not packed with sodium too, so we don't have to feel like we're overdoing it. But we can still sometimes get in those electrolytes that we need without that added sugar. Okay, protein bars. This one might shock you. Protein bars seem to be the holy grail of on-the-go snacks, but they can be misleading and downright tricky. They are marketed as a healthy, high-protein snack that can help you build the muscle or even lose weight. But again, check that nutrition label out. These bars can be high in calories and even sneaky added sugar, so much that there's only a small difference between a protein bar and a candy bar sometimes. So although it might taste great, they can do much more harm than good. Now, some protein bars can be a good source of protein, fiber, and healthy fats, but others are higher in sugar and lack those essential nutrients. So we need to remember the place for a protein bar. It can be a great on-the-go snack for a quick grab of fuel to recover from a workout, but when possible, we want to try to choose more whole food options. And there's a wide variety of protein bar brands out there, but we need to take time to actually look at the nutrition facts rather than just picking up what's advertised. So if you want like a good recommendation for just an easy go-to, an RX bar is great just because it's simple ingredients. But there's some other really good ones out there as well. But again, the focus is turn things over, look at that nutrition label, see what they're putting into the product, look at that sugar amount, look at how much protein, how much fiber, what are they adding to this to get that taste, and is it taking away some of the nutritional benefits? Gluten free. This one I hear still a lot is, oh, it's gluten free, it's healthy. For a little while there, I heard it all over. A lot of people thought gluten free snacks are healthier. And many people can fall into this trap, but it's so important to remember that conventional products are rich in fiber, vitamins, minerals, and gluten-free products might lack those. So many gluten-free snack products are processed and contain added sugar, fats, and additives that are not beneficial to our health goals. So just because a product is gluten-free doesn't make it a healthier alternative. Additionally, buying gluten-free can be more expensive. Marketers know consumers are willing to pay extra for a product that seems to be healthier. And really, the only reason why you should be avoiding gluten is if you have a sensitivity or an allergy to it. So if you don't have that problem, we don't need to be glorifying a gluten-free product over a whole wheat product, for example. Now, keto. So if you've been in the grocery store, you've probably seen something that's keto, a keto version of a product that you know of. So keto-friendly packaging products are often highly processed, and as we know, processing food can have many unwanted added ingredients and can have a negative impact on our health. We should also remember that your body's main source of energy is carbs. So when we incorporate a balance of our three macronutrients, our carbs, our protein, and our fat, we will feel more energized and satisfied, helping us better achieve our goals. Keto products and the keto diet aim to minimize carbohydrates in the diet, which may not be the best uh, balance for achieving your goals. Keto products are marketed to just make money a lot of the times. So it's a popular diet that's often high in fat and actually low in protein. A lot of people don't truly understand what the keto diet is. So it might actually not even help you lose the weight or get to your health goals that you're going to. There's a time and a place for a ketogenic diet, and there's certain foods that are ketogenic that can be beneficial. But again, turning things over, understanding the purpose. What are we trying to get after? And not just going with a product because of a claim that they're labeling on front. And if you're attempting the keto diet or any diet, we want to just choose whole foods. That's really what this boils down to, is making sure we're choosing good quality foods and not just letting the advertising and marketing win. So now, those were 10 health foods that I see all over the place. I hear people talk about that aren't always all that they're hyped up to be. So now, what should we include? What are three things that are very healthy that we should always have in our diet? The first one, whole grains and fiber. So the first food we want to include in our diet is whole grains to increase our fiber intake. Fiber helps regulate the body's use of sugars and helps keep us full for longer. Soluble fiber is a great way to lower our glucose levels and cholesterol, and sources of these are oatmeals, beans, nuts, apples, and blueberries. Insoluble fiber helps move through your digestive system, and good sources of these include whole wheat products, quinoa, leafy greens. And I would say 90% of people are not getting enough fiber in their diet. Children and adults need at least 25 to 35 grams of fiber, if not more. Those are just the standard recommendations, and I would say most people aren't even getting 15 grams on average. So it's really important to kind of look. We need fiber in our diet. If you've heard me talk, you know I love fiber. I'm a big advocate for it, and we're not getting enough. And if we use more whole foods, that's going to definitely help boost that up. So the next health food that we want to include is lean proteins. The USDA defines lean proteins as containing less than 10 grams of total fat and fewer than 4.5 grams or less of saturated fat per portion size. So lean protein helps us improve satiety, maintain and build muscle, promote weight loss, and keep our body functioning properly. A good estimate is about 30% of your total calories per day. And some ways that you can include or incorporate more lean proteins are like chicken breast, whitefish, tuna, plain Greek yogurt, beans, cottage cheese, things like that are really beneficial in getting that protein in. If you're having trouble meeting your daily goal, you can use like protein powders, like a whey protein powder. There's other options out there as well. And that can help with digestion too, just to get that added protein in. But there's so many ways, and we can be creative to get these in. Once you kind of break it down, it becomes a lot easier. But if I were to tell you to get 130 grams of protein in, a lot of people are like, whoa, that's a lot. If we can break some of these things down based on your individual goals, it becomes a lot easier and more realistic. Now, fresh, frozen, and canned produce. So these can be fantastic options to include in our diet. Fresh fruits and vegetables make great on-the-go snacks. When we're shopping for fresh produce, look for seasonal choices. In-season produce will have better flavor and can even be at a reduced price. And contrary to common belief, frozen fruits and vegetables are a great option. They're picked at peak ripeness and frozen immediately to lock in the nutritional value, and can be a great alternative to fresh foods because they can last a lot longer and they can be more economically favorable too. I buy frozen blueberries all the time, frozen veggies. That way we always have it on hand in case our other produce goes bad or we just need a quick option. And then canned fruits and vegetables can also be fantastic. They're a great item to buy in bulk and keep stocked. They also don't expire quickly, so you don't have to worry about eating it within a certain time period. With all this, though, you want to make sure you're looking for like added sodium in canned vegetables, added sugar in some of these things too. So, like, you can get canned peaches and they could be in syrup. So, we want to really be mindful of what they're putting our stuff in, frozen vegetables included. You can find like the seasonal packets that have a lot of sodium in there. So just being mindful, trying to stay with the simpler options. I always just buy whole. So I'll buy like frozen peas, frozen blueberries, frozen mixed veggies that don't have any of the seasonings on it, and then I season it. And then just to kind of reiterate some of our principles that we go by, our principle number one is add more whole foods into our diet. This is where we want to focus first. We can use the plate method to help us to help attain this, and that's using half your plate with non-starchy vegetables, a quarter of your plate with starchy vegetables or starchy carbs, and then a fourth of your plate with that lean proteins and having that fat, a little bit of that healthy fats included with that. Our principle number two is to focus on our balance. So having protein, carbs, and fats in all of our meals, this is going to help us stay full for longer. And then number three is to limit the amount of ultra-processed carbohydrates, added sugar, and alcohol that we consume. So quickly, I'll open it up to just some talking, but I wanted to go over a few things really quickly. So the first thing is like when we're looking at all these products, we have all this knowledge. We know, okay, we can't be scammed on a health product that they're making a claim for. So how do I know if it's healthy or not? So nutritional value will depend and vary from brand to brand, as well as your own personal nutritional needs will determine if a product is specifically healthy for you. Something to keep in mind is that although a brand has more money to advertise their product does not mean that it's actually healthier for us. So the big thing we want to actually look at is that nutritional label. So really, if they're claiming low sugar, low fat, or whatever it might be, or any product, really turn the product over. Look at that nutritional fact, that nutrition label, those nutritional facts on the back. This is where we're going to get all of our answers. So the first part that you want to look for on this is the serving size. So step one, serving size. This is going to contain the number of servings per package and the serving size. So all nutritional information that is listed on the label, including the number of calories, refers to the size of the serving. That's really important. If you buy a bag of chips and it's 2 servings, it's good to know that because it might seem like it's a single serving item, but it's actually 2 servings, so you have to double everything that's on the back. So understanding the portions of what they're claiming those calories can be, and that's how sometimes they get their numbers down because they can be in this low range because the serving size is actually smaller. So it's something to be mindful of is first just look, what is my serving size for this product? How many servings are in this container? Step two is looking at those calories. Um, so calories provide the measurement of energy that you'll get from a food. The number of calories that you consume depends on the number of servings that you eat. So same thing. If you're actually eating 2 servings, we need to double this. Step three, I want you to look at the nutrients. So look at saturated fat, look at sodium, look at added sugars. Are these nutrients we want to figure out, do we want more of them? Do we want less? Sugar, we want less. Sodium, we kind of want less of. Saturated fat, we want less. We want more fiber. Depending on the person, we want more protein. There's different things that we're looking at to amplify. And you also see things highlighted like vitamin D, calcium, iron, potassium. Those are going to be good ones to focus on as well. So total sugar on the nutrition fact label includes the sugars present naturally and as added. So you'll see it's here, but you'll see total sugars is like 25, and it includes 23 grams of added or 22 grams of added sugar. So we know we're getting in this product a little bit of natural sugar, majority of it's added sugar. So that's something to be mindful of. And then step four, something to just kind of look at, is the percent daily value. And this is the percentage of the daily value for each nutrient in a serving of food. It shows how much nutrient in a serving of food contributes to the total daily diet, which can help you determine if it's good or bad. And a good way of looking at this is like for sugar, for example, if it's a low number, that's better. And we know we want to stay lower with that. With fiber, if it's a higher number, okay, great. We're getting a lot of fiber in that. So if you're looking at the percentages, that can help you navigate as well. All right, now I know I always say more whole foods, eat more veggies, eat more fruits, all these things. What if you don't like veggies? I hear this all the time. Um, find out if you just haven't tried cooking them in a different way. There's so many ways that we can cook them, plate them, utilize them to incorporate them into our diet. We can do those smoothies if we are really being mindful of how we're making them. We can make muffins out of them. We can roast them. We can saute them. There's so many different ways to incorporate more vegetables into our diet. Now, with this all in mind, knowing that there's Instagram out there that always is saying, try this recipe, do this, this is a healthy recipe, this is a healthy product, or whatever it might be. Where do I start? Just one step at a time. Focus on your breakfast. Really dial in your breakfast. Then go to your snacks, go to your lunch. Don't try to be perfect. We want to just start to build these habits over time. And the fastest way approach is really just building on those rather than trying to be perfect, which isn't going to be sustainable. So, industry and marketing play a huge role in getting consumers to buy their products. They use many different techniques that add value to the products and persuade consumers to purchase. Companies invest in research, development, marketing long before an actual product is developed. The reasoning behind this is that consumers are willing to pay more for a product that's generated more demand. So now we know it can be confusing to navigate this information alone, but luckily you're not. You have GC Healthy Living to help you with it. So if you ever have any questions about brands or products, please feel free to reach out because I know it can be overwhelming. And lastly, just remember to check the nutrition labels. Even if you've heard a claim about these products, more than likely something sounds too good to be true, it is. So if you're unsure, reach out to a coach. Myself, Eddie, Kim, any of us on the team, we're happy to help to conquer some of these misconceptions that might be out there and find some good alternatives as well.